Your dog is on your bed right now, or at your feet, or just outside the bedroom door in the hallway. Almost like a sentry that was placed there, isn't it? Wherever it's sleeping, one thing is certain. It didn't choose that spot by accident. The decision to sleep that night, at that hour, at that exact point, looks like the result of a calculation about you. And most people explain this in one of two ways, or want to believe one of two things. My dog loves me so much. Or, my dog is just too attached. Both explanations are partially true. Neither of them actually describes what's happening. Because researchers who have spent decades studying dog sleep behavior have discovered that sleep position isn't really a sign of affection or a personality trait. It's a calculation your dog's nervous system runs throughout the night. A calculation built on security, temperature, scent, and the rhythm of your breathing. And once you understand this, the way you think about where your dog sleeps changes completely. First, something needs to be made clear. Dogs don't sleep the way humans do. In 2020, a team led by Anna Kiss at the Hungarian Academy of Sciences measured the structure of dog sleep using a technique called polysomnography. It's the same method used in human sleep laboratories. Electrodes are placed on the scalp, the chest, and around the eyes, and throughout the night, brainwaves, muscle activity, and eye movements are recorded. Here's what they found. Dogs wake up on average 16 times per night. Each sleep cycle lasts about 45 minutes. For us, that cycle is 90 minutes, so theirs is less than half of ours. This means your dog is in a constant state of light alert sleep. It descends into deep sleep, rises to light sleep, checks the environment, then sinks back down again. This rhythm is a protective mechanism inherited from their ancestors, the wolves. In a pack, someone always has to stay awake. And in domestic dogs, this role continues, often without you even noticing. When your dog lifts its head at 3 a.m, glances toward the window, and then lies back down, it's not random. In that moment, it was checking the perimeter of its pack. In light of this, the place your dog chooses to sleep takes on an entirely different meaning. In 2017, research conducted by Christos Karagiannis at the University of Lincoln recorded the sleep positions of 12 dogs on camera and classified them by their body posture during rest. 3 main categories emerged: the curled-up dog, the dog lying on its side, and the dog sleeping on its back with its belly exposed. The curled position is the oldest one. In wild animals, this posture conserves heat, protects vital organs, and allows quick escape from a sudden threat. Lying on the side indicates a moderate level of trust. But sleeping on the back, in the researchers' terminology, is the physical expression of total trust. Because the belly is a dog's most vulnerable region. Major blood vessels run through it, and the organs sit close to the surface. Your dog sleeping on its back next to you, with its belly exposed, is not a simple gesture of comfort. It's proof that its nervous system has classified that environment as completely free of threat. Then there's the temperature factor. And this is more important than most people realize. Dogs have a body temperature about 1 degree higher than humans. On average, 38.5 degrees Celsius. But most of their sweat glands are on the pads of their paws, not on their torso. This means they handle cold better than you do, but on cool nights, they actively search for warmth. In 2014, research conducted at Texas A&M University showed that the sleep locations dogs chose shifted significantly once the room temperature dropped below 20 degrees. On cool nights, dogs slept roughly 40% closer to their owners. On warm nights, the opposite happened. They moved away, chose the cool tile floor, or gravitated to the doorway. This means your dog's attachment to you doesn't change throughout the night. What changes is the need. A dog that sleeps far from you on a summer night doesn't love you any less. It's just managing its own thermoregulation. Now let's get to the dog sleeping at your feet. That position has a specific name, and to understand it, we need to go back to older literature. In the 1970s, behavioral biologist Rudolf Schenkel studied sleep arrangements in wolf packs. The leader of the pack generally sleeps in the most sheltered spot, in the position with the best view of the surroundings. The other members of the pack position themselves around the leader, but in a way that leaves the leader free to move, not at the leader's feet, but alongside. The foot of the leader in a wolf pack is not actually a high-ranking position. It's the guard position. It's where the members who monitor the pack's entrance and exit sit, the ones who give the first alarm. When your dog chooses to sleep at your feet, it isn't abandoning you. It's leaving you an exit corridor. If you get up and leave the room, it will be the first to feel it. And research shows that dogs in this position display far less muscle activity throughout the night compared to dogs sleeping pressed against the body. So a dog sleeping at your feet is actually less aroused than a dog glued to your side. More at peace, more rested. Is it a good idea to let your dog sleep in your bed? The answer to this question has also been shaped by research, and the result goes against common advice. In 2017, the Mayo Clinic measured sleep quality in a group of 40 adults and their dogs. When the dog slept in the same bed or in the same room, participants showed roughly 83% sleep efficiency. That's above the acceptable threshold for good sleep. When the dog was in the bed itself, sleep efficiency dropped slightly, but still remained within healthy limits. But a more interesting finding emerged. Participants who slept in the same room as their dogs scored significantly better on one measurement in particular: the sense of security. Especially for people who lived alone and those with a history of trauma, the dog's presence kept cortisol levels lower throughout the night. And this effect isn't one-directional. A 2021 study showed that dogs who shared the bedroom with their owners had lower average heart rates than dogs sleeping in separate rooms. So the dog you let into your bed isn't just comfortable. Its nervous system is synchronizing with yours.
Later studies showed that dogs spend about 12 minutes in REM sleep throughout the night. And what's even more interesting is that research can actually predict what dogs are dreaming about. An analysis published by Deirdre Barrett at Harvard University showed that small breeds experience shorter and more frequent dream episodes, while large breeds have longer and less frequent ones. The strongest predictor of what they dream about is what they did that day. If your dog ran during the day, its paws run in its sleep at night. If it played with you, it wags its tail softly in its sleep. So your dog's sleep activity isn't just physical. It's a mental continuity. Everything it experiences with you during the day is processed at night. There's that ritual your dog does before lying down. It turns in a circle 3 times, sniffs the ground, then settles into a specific position. That too is a genetic inheritance. This behavior, documented by Stanley Coren, comes from the habit of wild canids to clear an area before lying down in tall grass, checking for snakes and insects. In your modern home on a clean bed, that behavior may no longer have a practical function, but the neurological circuit is still running. When your dog turns 3 times before lying down, it's completing a ritual that's thousands of years old. What if the place your dog sleeps changes over time? What if a dog that once slept in your bed suddenly starts choosing the hallway? This is something owners frequently interpret with concern. Research from 2018 showed that the sleep locations of aging dogs shift, and this is most often related to joint discomfort. Warm surfaces, soft cushions, being next to their owner, these things can become physically difficult. In addition, cognitive dysfunction syndrome, which is a form of dementia in dogs, notably disrupts sleep patterns. If your dog is becoming restless at night, constantly changing where it sleeps, and this behavior has lasted longer than 6 weeks, that's a situation that should be discussed with a veterinarian. But a change in position alone isn't a sign of a problem. Sometimes dogs simply discover a new point of comfort. Sometimes, without you noticing, the temperature distribution in your home has changed. There's one last thing to understand here, and it might be the most important one. Human sleep researchers have a concept called co-sleeping, the field that examines the neurobiological effects of infants and parents sleeping in the same environment has been adapted in recent years to dog-owner relationships. The findings show that mammals who sleep together tend to synchronize their breathing rhythms over time. Heart rates draw closer to one another. Cortisol levels trace a parallel curve throughout the night. And if you sleep in the same bed or the same room as your dog, you're not just physically close. Your nervous systems are tuning to each other, hour by hour. And as we've seen in earlier research, there's one direction to this synchronization. Yours is the dominant one. Your sleep quality predicts your dog's sleep quality. When you sleep poorly, your dog sleeps poorly. When you go to bed with an anxious mind, your dog detects it through the changes in your body temperature, the rhythm of your breath, and perhaps the cortisol signature in your scent, and sleeps accordingly, or fails to. So in the end, the question of where your dog sleeps at night, in your bed, at your feet, or outside your door, it isn't a matter of preference. It's the nervous system finding the balance point it needs at that moment. Temperature, security, scent, sound, space to move. All of these factors are recalculated every night, and every decision it makes flows through the bond it has with you. Your dog coming near you isn't love. Your dog being able to come near you is love, because its nervous system has marked your presence as safe. Not as a threat, not as something to avoid, as a place to return to. From Gregory Burns's fMRI studies, we know that your scent is registered as a reward in your dog's brain. From the Mayo Clinic data, we know that sleeping in the same room lowers cortisol for both sides. From Karagiannis's sleep position research, we know that sleeping with the belly exposed is the anatomical expression of total trust. All of them say the same thing. The moment your dog is asleep is the most vulnerable moment of its day, and it chooses to share that moment with you. There isn't a clearer answer than that. If this video changed the way you see your dog's nighttime behavior, write it in the comments. Where does your dog sleep? In your bed, at your feet, or in its own corner? See you in the next video.